Analytics. Your feeling on analytics now, the way I think it's really hurting the game. What are your thoughts?
I think it's killing the game. It's to the point where just put computers out there. Just put laptops and what have you. Just put them out there and let them play. We don't even need to go out there anymore. It's a joke.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Dawson, and today we have a little bit more of a controversial topic. So the clip that I played at the beginning was from the Howard Eskin podcast with Jayson Werth, and that clip did cause a little bit of uproar from the analytics guys, with a lot of old-timers agreed with Werth, and it's basically a whole big mess. But today I am going to try and sort it out to the best of my abilities, so let's go ahead and get started.
Kids, the game's going young. They've got all these, super nerds, as I call them, in the front office that know nothing about baseball, but they like to project numbers and project players, and old players are out, new players are in.
So I mostly disagree with Jayson Werth here. Saying that these super nerds know nothing about the game simply isn't true. The front office is filled with these super nerds that succeed because they know what they are doing. Their whole job is to analyze players through numbers, and they use these numbers to determine what these players' value is. However, I can understand where Jayson Werth is coming from. Werth started playing in 2002, which was just before the whole analytics movement took over all of baseball. When he first came up, these were the stats that were commonly used to look at players. Now, those stats look more like this. To some fans, even to some players, this can be confusing. But just know that all of these actually have meaning.
Super nerds, as I call them, in the front office that know nothing about baseball.
This part is an argument that I've heard quite a few times in my comment section. Like this one, where this kid tries to tell me I don't know anything because I don't hit as hard as Bryce Harper. Now, he is right that I don't hit as hard as a top professional athlete, but to correlate that to level of baseball knowledge is just stupid. This kind of logic doesn't work here, and it wouldn't work anywhere else either. We don't tell movie critics they don't know anything because they aren't directors, and just because someone isn't the best on-field player doesn't mean they don't know anything about baseball either. So, Jayson Werth, I'm sure you know more about on-field related topics, but in the front office?
You call them what? The super nerds. Analytics. Your feeling on analytics now, the way I think it's really hurting the game.
I think it's killing the game. It's to the point where just put computers out there.
Now this is where it really starts to get interesting. I've heard this one a lot, especially recently with the rise in home runs and strikeouts. And to be honest with you guys, Jayson Werth has a pretty good argument here. I did talk to you guys about this home run and strikeout problem in Baseball's Biggest Problem Part 2, which you should check out, by the way. And yes, home runs and strikeouts make the game boring. Kind of. Baseball, to me, and probably to a lot of you, will never be boring, especially if you're at a game live. But to the kids that don't understand baseball to the level of other people, will probably get bored when all they see is a bunch of strikeouts and the occasional home run every few innings. When you go to a game, you see people around you. Try and see who is actually paying attention. I get that it's 2018 and people will check their phone when they are at a game. I'm guilty of this too, along with everyone else. But the people that are on their phones for practically a majority of the game, it's because they're bored. Just like when you're sitting at home scrolling through Instagram because nothing is happening in the current moment. But things start to happen when people get on base and make more contact. And the problem is with the analytics movement, baseball has started to move away from that. Now there are still great contact hitters like Jose Altuve, but on the other hand there are players like this guy. For those of you who don't know, this is Joey Gallo, aka the perfect description of a modern day hitter. Joey Gallo does basically two things: strike out or hit a homer. Gallo currently has a career strikeout percentage of 37.9%, which puts him 6th on the all-time list, and everyone above him has less than 1,000 career games played. And this season, he is 5th in the home run chase, all while batting .204. How Joey Gallo is starting in the majors, I mean, let's be fair, he's playing for the Rangers, but it's a bit surprising until I looked more into it. And the more I looked into his advanced metrics, I realized Joey Gallo isn't that bad and he's actually a pretty good player. And then it hit me. I was looking at things like WOBA and WRC Plus while trying to evaluate Gallo, which are some of the exact numbers that the front offices were looking at. And most of the time, Joey Gallo is a kind of boring player. He doesn't have stellar defense, and almost 40% of the time he strikes out. I get that Joey Gallo hits moonshots, which can be very exciting, and they are really exciting. But most of the time, we all know how it ends. So I found myself defeated. I would consider myself a somewhat baseball super nerd, as Werth would like to call it, and I was wondering if I, along with my other nerd baseball friends, were actually killing the game. However, this subject is completely objective. For the baseball super nerds and the hardcore fans, they might find a lot of joy looking into advanced numbers and looking into value of players that nobody else can see. It adds a level to the game that a lot of people don't see and a lot of other sports don't even have. However, the way it affects the on-field excitement is still being seen today. But either way, analytics will be here to stay, since teams will try and get all the advantages they can while chasing a championship. But are analytics killing baseball? Let me know why or why not in the comments section below. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new, press that subscribe button, and also hit that bell thing and you'll get notified every time a new video comes out. And as far as merchandise goes, there will be some merch coming up around next week. The prototypes are supposed to arrive at my house tomorrow, but I'll let you guys know as soon as it releases. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Yeah, I love her off. Said she love me, but she cut me off. Yeah, late nights on the boulevard, hitting stains on an empty heart, yeah. I love her off. Said she love me, but she cut me off. Yeah, late nights on the boulevard, hitting stains on an empty heart, yeah.